Hey everybody, Palm Springs Cindy. I am home from Kauai and I have some interesting circumstances to share with everyone. So, well, you know the video I put up just the other day was about Kauai, kicking it in Kauai. But what I didn't share with you guys is what happened after I made that video. So I'm going to tell you about it now. You might want to go get a Kleenex because it's pretty sad. And you might want to get a cup of coffee or whatever because it's kind of pathetic. Well, for me to leave from Palm Springs, my local airport, the flights go like this. They take off at like 7 in the morning from Palm Springs. They go straight to LAX, Los Angeles Airport. I have like a 48-minute layover in Los Angeles. I get on the next United flight and it goes straight to Lihue Airport, which is the airport in Kauai. Perfect. The bad news is on the way back, the flight leaving Lihue, leaving Kauai, leaves at 11:58 p.m., so like midnight. And then it's 5.5 hours. It goes to San Francisco. I had an almost 2-hour layover, not quite, hour and 45 minutes layover in San Francisco. Get on the plane and come, and then it lands at Palm Springs Airport, and I arrive there at like 10 in the morning, March 8th, the following day. So, that's just the way it is. And frankly, the only bad part is I have to be out of that condominium because the next group that's coming in, it's not really a timeshare. It's owned by 12 people, my brother and sister-in-law being one of the 12. So everybody gets it 2 weeks gets it 1 month out of the year. 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, and then they rotate so that everybody has a chance to be there at different times during the year. And then this is the second generation now because my husband's wife, her parents were the original bakers. They call themselves the Baker Dozen. Her parents were the original Baker Dozen. Well, they have passed away now, that generation, and they have since turned it over to their kids. That's why Mary, my brother's husband, sometimes they go when it's their time, and sometimes they can't. If they cannot go, then they usually ask someone in the family if they want to use that 2 weeks. And I've been blessed to be able to go several times. I think I've gone 6 times now. It used to be my mom and dad, and then they started getting older, and then I would go with them and kind of help them be their gopher. And then, anyway, so that's the deal. That's the timing. The reason I'm telling you that is I was the last one to leave the condo. My brother and his wife left after the first week. I stayed the full 2 weeks. So before you leave, there's like a checklist of things that you have to do. So I did the checklist, got everything ready. Well, like I said, I had to be out by noon. So but my flight didn't leave until midnight that night. So I had like 12 hours that I had to do something with. So I rented a hotel room right by the airport. And I called the rental car people and I extended the hours. I wasn't going to turn the car in until 10 that night. Then the shuttle took me to the airport. Okay, so in other words, that's the backdrop. Excuse me, I'm drinking this delicious club soda. I'm really thirsty. So like I said, I was doing my checklist, cleaning up the condo, there's a real concern about, don't misplace the key to the condo. Don't lock yourself out, kind of a thing. So knowing that, we had keys made. My brother, they got a key made. They gave actually two made. They gave me a key. So anyway, when I was leaving, or whenever I left, like if I was taking trash out or whatever, I didn't necessarily take the key with me, but I would prop the door open with a pillow or with a whatever. And so that was fine. Okay, well then I was putting things in my car, putting my luggage in the trunk of my car. So in my mind, I had sketched everything out. I'll do this first. I'll do that last. So I thought, okay, I'm going to take my heaviest. I had 2 pieces of luggage, one big one, one tiny one. But I don't take anything on the airplane but my purse. So I put my big suitcase in the trunk of my car. I went back to get the small suitcase, and I had forgot to block the door. The door shut on me and locked me out. So I was like, oh no, that didn't just happen. And well, it did. I tried to go around the back of the condo, and I'm on my hands and knees. I'm holding on to tree branches because I thought if I could hike myself up over the wood patio, then the patio doors, sliding doors were still open. So I tried to do that, but there was a place where you had to balance and hike yourself. Well, anyway, I got too scared. So I couldn't do it. So I hopped off that, climbed all fours, climbed back up the hill, and I saw this man on a bike. I thought I'm going to walk to the hotel and just ask for help. So I saw this man on a bike, and I stopped, I said, oh, excuse me. And I told him what happened. And I said, do you think you could help me? And he thought for a minute and he said, no. I was like, okay. And I said, okay, that's fine. I understand. Poppy's down here. And no, I'm not going to pick her up. And so there was a crew of landscapers over by the, not that far away. So anyway, I walked over to them and I flagged them down, and it was a man about my age. He was obviously the manager, the boss. Then there were like 5 young guys. So I thought, okay, these guys are, they'll certainly help me. Come here. Oh my goodness. Come here, little pumpkin. Yeah. I went up to them, and they were in like a little Jeep kind of a thing. They were all, they had their rakes and their shovels and all that stuff. So anyway, I explained to the manager man my situation. Could he help me? He said, absolutely. So he's got all those guys. And I said, just right across the street, right there. And he was like, no problem. So they went over. And, anyway, I explained, I said I could almost do it, but there comes a point where I got too scared. And I couldn't do it. So it takes them like 8 minutes to get into the condo. All of a sudden I realize as I'm standing there, was not our condo. It was condo 120, and we are not in 120. So I thought, oh my gosh. And I said, wait, stop. So I could tell they were already in because I could sense the door was kind of moving. And I said, wait, stop. And so the manager guy looked at me, and I said, I am so sorry, but this isn't even the right condo. Ours is the one next door. And I said, I am so sorry. And so he goes, you guys, get out of there. Get out of there. Well, they did. They totally went in. Luckily, no one was there, and they got out of there safely. And oh my gosh. Well, anyway, they thought I was a Looney Tune. And so did I. All of these places look exactly alike. And so anyway, I explained. I said, I'm just so nervous and upset. I just made a mistake. I said, this is where we are, not that one. And anyway, they rolled their eyes. Well, anyway, they helped me. Long story short, they got in. They opened the door for me. I thanked them. I gave them a reward money. And okay, they left, and I was so thankful. Finished packing my car, and then I could leave. Okay, now let me rewind a little bit. before I left, I had taken my necklace, my jewelry off because, I was at the beach and stuff. Well, I wanted to put it back on, but I can't do it by myself. But anyway, I thought, well, I'm going to try. So I went to get my jewelry, and I found two of the necklaces, but not the diamond necklace, not my favorite piece of jewelry in the whole world. I couldn't find it. I thought, well, I knew exactly where I put it, and the other two were there, but not this one. So I thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So I thought maybe I had a tissue next to it. It was actually in a certain spot in one of my handbags. So I thought, well, maybe I had a tissue near, although I know not to do that when it comes to jewelry, putting a piece of jewelry in a piece of Kleenex, because you throw the Kleenex away. So I thought, well, that's probably what I did. So I sat down. I had collected all the trashes, sat down in the kitchen. I brought all the trashes together, and I opened each piece of Kleenex, shook it, looked at it, set it over there. The next one, put it over there. I looked at every empty box, every empty soup can, every empty egg carton, you name it. I took my time. Well, I couldn't find my necklace. So then I did the same thing in reverse. I re-looked at everything and put it back in the trash baggie. Could not find it. I thought, okay, well, what am I going to do? Lo and behold, I found it. It was right where I put it, but it had fallen down into a little spot where I couldn't see it. Well, finally, I saw it. Okay, so that was horrible. Then then before that, I was stripping the beds. I had to wash the sheets. So I put the sheets in the washing machine, and I couldn't find my cell phone. And where is it? Usually you can say, well, somebody call my number, Well, anyway, there was no one there to ask. So I look. I backtrack. I do everything I'm supposed to do. So then I thought, you know what? The last time I had it, I think it was still morning. And I thought maybe I had it in the sheets. And as I scooped the sheets up to put in the washing machine, what if my cell phone is in the washing machine? So I thought, oh my word. So I went into the washing machine, stopped it, pulled everything out. The sheets, everything that was in there, I pulled out. Of course, some of them had not gotten wet yet because I had just started it. Sat down on the kitchen floor, pulled everything out, squeezed it, touched it, shook it out. It was wet. Everything was wet. Floor wet, this wet, rug wet, all that stuff. So, no, my phone wasn't there. So I thought, well, in a way, that's a good thing. My phone's here somewhere. So, okay, it's not in the washing machine. I eventually found my cell phone, and so I was thankful it did not get wet. Because, once they're wet, you can't use them anymore. Okay, then, I want to just tell you guys how freakishly expensive everything is in Kauai. Now, we all know prices have gone up everywhere. We all know groceries are more expensive. Gasoline is more expensive. Everything has gone up. Well, for example, we were coming back from the beach or something, and so my brother, sister, and I were talking about what we were going to have for lunch or early dinner or whatever. And so we were thinking, oh, well, I think we decided to make like sandwiches or something. And so Mary says, well, if we're going to do that, do we have chips? Let's stop and get some chips. So we're driving along, we see this little market. So we pull in. She ran out, got the chips. She came back, and we started up. The car went on her way. She says, I want you guys to take a guess at how much money I bought 2 bags of chips, a bag of Lay's, and a Doritos. And, they weren't the giant party size. They were, they weren't the little sandwich lunch box size, but they were the next size up. 2 Lay's and Doritos. And so I was like, well, I have no idea. And well, anyway, she said $16. I was like, are you kidding me? So two those two bags of chips were $16. Now there was this one place, I forget the name of it, Tiki Niki or something. And it's not fancy. It's over by the grocery store where we are in Princeville. And they have like hamburgers and chicken wings. And, it's kind of, it's not really that big of a deal. And so I was there. I would go there. We went there for lunch once, and then I went back again another time. It's convenient because it's so close. And well, anyway, so I ordered a Mai Tai. Well, I knew how much the Mai Tai cost because, of course, I saw it on the menu, and I wasn't going to order it. But because we had bought stuff to make Mai Tais at the house, and we bought like, almost like Crystal Light type mix, so it wouldn't be so fattening. We did buy a pineapple. Kelly sliced that all up, so we made a nice Mai Tai, but just not as high calorie as you would buy or get in a hotel or in a restaurant. Well, my Mai Tai was $21. I couldn't believe it. Well, I could because I ordered it, and it was terrible. So I thought, there's no way it was sour, like almost, well, it was just like, it was nothing but sweet and sour. There was no like dark rum and a cherry in it, all that fancy stuff. So I flagged down the gal and I said, I hate to say this, but this is just terrible. It's so sour. And anyway, she said, okay, do you want the one that's like the hotels give you? And I said, yes. Are they sweet? She goes, yes, that's the kind I want. That one was, I think, $19. So anyway, I just want to let you guys know everything is out of sight expensive in Kauai. In fact, we asked the waiters and the waitresses, they were young, and how do you guys afford to live here? And they said, oh, we all have at least 3 jobs. So I have a feeling, the young adults, the 21 to 26-year-olds, they probably go there and live and stay a year or 2, maybe 3, and then go back to Iowa or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how anybody can live on the island. It's just, everything was so expensive. We went to get a facial, my sister and I, at that beautiful, it used to be called the St. Regis. Now it's called number one motel or whatever. And we had a facial, and it was, I'm embarrassed to tell you how much it was, but it was close to $300. Yeah. So that was the one and only time I went to number one. But the reason I did it and didn't feel bad about it was the last time I was there, or 2 times ago, my mother and I went to St. Regis to get a facial. And it was also very expensive. And we decided not to have it because we just didn't want to pay that much for it. And we laughed, and I said, Mom, I'll give you a facial. You can give me a facial, and we'll do the real warm washcloth and the face massage and all of that. So then this time when we went, I felt like, thanks, Mom, like I get to have a facial this time. So, but once again, that's just way too much money to pay. But I will say it was quite luxurious and quite wonderful. I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have gone back for anything like that again. In fact, then the other crazy thing was I wanted to get a mani-pedi before I left, but I didn't. I just ran out of time. So I thought, well, I'll get one when I'm there. Well, I didn't. I pulled off my acrylics. I bought a file, and I just thought, this is just going to be good enough. Well, then, because I had 12 hours to kill between the time I left the condo and the time my flight left, I did get a fill and a pedicure. Well, I made an appointment. Well, anyway, when I got there, they had overbooked, and so I had my nails done. But the gal that was doing it, she was the only gal in the shop, and she was really nervous. I said, you know what, don't even bother putting polish on them. Just, if you would be so kind, just put a clear polish, nothing, not that special kind, not a gel. Just put a clear polish on them, and I'm out of here. Okay, thanks. So, okay, so that was that. Then one last thing, then I'll hang up. Then I finally went to the airport. And I got to the airport and I was kind of hungry. So I went, there was even though it was that late, it was like 11 o'clock. I got to, there was like a little cafe that was open and I had an iced coffee and something, really good. One of those yogurt parfaits, with the fresh fruit and the granola on the top. Well, and so I ate that, and then I found my gate, sitting at the gate, and I thought, I've still got like 40 minutes. I'm gonna go window shop. I'm gonna just walk around a little bit. And so I saw this this store, and it had for like a gift or something, but it looked good to me. I bought a big round sourdough bread, and I thought, that'll make a nice gift to give to somebody when I return. So I bought that, and I had, you put it in a bag. And I was carrying that around, and I wanted to get a pair of earrings, and I didn't see any in Kauai that I really liked that were not very heavy or way too expensive. So I saw some for like $12 at the airport. So I went over to that little shop and the $12 earrings, and I bought them, and then I wanted to wear them. So the lady that was working at the shop came over with me, and so I said, these are the ones I want. And she said, do you want it back? I said, no, actually, I'm going to put them on. So I paid for them. I put them on. I started to put them on, and the back of it I dropped. Okay, forget that. So we're trying to find. I said, you know what? It fell in my purse. So I'm not going to dump my purse out to find something that tiny. So I didn't get to wear those home, but I have them. I get on the airplane. No, I get back to gate 10. They're starting to board, and I was the last group to board, and I realized I had left the sourdough bread, who knows where. Maybe I paid for it in that little gift shop and walked out without it. Maybe I paid for it when I got my earrings, walked out without it. I don't know, but I went back, tried to check here. I checked there. I couldn't find it, and I thought, I'm going to miss my plane. So that was another crazy thing that happened. And then I lied, one more crazy thing. So, okay, I get to, this is before we took off from Lihue. I turned in the rental car. Well, they make it really easy. You just pull up and the guy says, he checks my mileage and all that. And I got my luggage out. And he said, if you hurry, that there's a transport there right now. And they're going to sit another minute or two, then they're going to make a trip over to the airport. You have time to catch that one. So I was like, oh, good. So I got my stuff, and I was like walking over there, and I got on, and I was the only one on there. So he took off. I said, I'm on United. He goes, okay. So we took off, and for some reason, I don't know why, but I happened to look a certain way in my handbag, and I still had the keys to the rental car. So I was like, wait, I said, Mr. Please stop. I realize I have the keys to my rental car. So he was like, oh, okay. So he stopped. And then I got up to get out, and he goes, no, give them to me. I'll go take them. I'll run them back. So I said, oh, thank you. So I gave them to him. He got off, and then he came back. He got back on the little transporter bus, and he said, "Oh man, he was running over here to catch us." So anyway, it all was well, but it was like that last day. It was a comedy of errors. Luckily, everything was okay. The flight was smooth. I think I slept most of from Lihue to San Francisco. That's like 5.5 hours. And I think I slept for most of it because I don't really remember anything. Oh, I will tell you this, and I don't know if you know this or not. I didn't. On the flight from Palm Springs to LA to Kauai, the airline stewardesses, say, would you like a cup of coffee, whatever. And so I said, yes. And she said, we have some sandwiches and stuff. So I was like, oh, what kind of sandwich? Well, anyway, I ordered something, and she said, oh, I don't see you in our system. And I said, oh, well, I have my ticket right here. Is there something on my ticket? And she said, no, did you log in online before or when you got your ticket and give us your credit card information and all of that? And I said, no, I didn't. She goes, oh, well, I'm sorry. We can't serve you. I said, well, I have cash. She says, no, I can't serve you anything. What? I'm going to be on the plane 5.5 hours. I don't get even a soda. And so I said, well, can I have some water? And she said, yes, you can have some water. And so it was a little plastic cup, that she poured some water in and gave to me. So, luckily I actually had bought a little sandwich and had stuck it in my purse. So I did, I certainly wasn't going to starve, but I really would have preferred to have a Diet Coke or something. Anyway, so then on the way back, when I was checking in, there, it was so late, midnight-ish, that nobody was hardly at the airport. So I asked about that. And I said, now, but I don't know if I'm going to want anything, but if I do, how do I get my credit card information? Because United wouldn't honor my cash or anything, and I couldn't get served. And so she showed me how to do it. You have to join the mileage club or something. I don't know. Crazy. I had never heard of it, but I didn't like it, but there was nothing I could do about it. It worked out okay. At least going back, I knew ahead of time. And, but I didn't put anything in my purse, stick anything in my purse, because I had that yogurt and stuff. So I was okay. Plus I knew I was going to sleep. Okay, you guys, I'm tired of talking. I've talked so much to tell you all my craziness. So Poppy's over there sound asleep. I was so happy to see her. I have to give you a POPPY boot camp report. Oh my word, it's hysterical. So anyway, you guys, nothing else. I've got nothing else to say right now. P.S. I love you. Mwah. Until our next conversation. Bye-bye.